While Soulcalibur 6 features many returning fighters and some exciting guest characters like Geralt of Rivia and the recently announced 2B from Nier Automata, few characters are more iconic to Soulcalibur than the returning Mitsurugi. Making his first appearance in the original Soul Edge, Mitsurugi is a mainstay of the series and appears in tandem with Geralt on the cover of 6. An accessible and versatile fighter all around, Mitsurugi is the perfect character to jump in with for both hardened veterans as well as the newly initiated. Mitsurugi inflicts all of his damage in the close to mid-range of the battlefield, with versatile attacks that can break any guard your opponent can throw at you. At close range, use low attacks like Leap of the Loach or Stock Shaver to break through a regular guard and begin piling on the attacks. Using these can condition your opponents to start blocking low, allowing you to punish them using a Heaven Cannon, triggering a lethal hit and opening them up for further combos. If your opponent is on the edge, Heaven Cannon is also the perfect attack for a ring out. Should it land, a few more horizontal strikes will quickly knock them off. If you're fighting a character more based on ranged attacks, like Ivy for instance, closing that gap can be tougher with Mitsurugi than some other characters because of the range of the majority of his attacks. Not to worry, you can narrow the gap between you and your opponent by performing a Swift Edge or Bell Breaker, both attacks that will advance you forward. If your opponent continues to swing at you as you approach, try a Shin Slicer to duck under an incoming horizontal attack while dealing damage to your opponent. Once you've closed the distance, your best tactic is quickly attacking your opponent before they have a chance to guard. Airtail or Double Binder can be useful in this regard, and once you've got your opponent on their heels, move in for the kill with your guard-breaking moves. Reading your opponent and exploiting their mistakes is key to any fight, but it's especially important when using Mitsurugi. Your go-to whiff punish should be Rib Ripper, which will trigger a lethal hit if the counter is timed correctly. If you start to find yourself dodging with an 8-way run against attacks, Rib Ripper is a great move to keep in mind to go back on the offensive. Because of Mitsurugi's relentless attack style, many opponents may try to thwart your speed with a reversal edge. You can turn the tables on them before the attack lands by responding with a second form of Double Binder, in this case the type of stance that you can chain into a Firebrand. Or alternatively, you can attempt to counter with another stance, Drawn Breath, and then chain into a Cloud Cutter.
Time to end you!
Mitsurugi's critical edge, Thunderbolt Blade, is an easy way to get a lot of damage into your opponent. Easily blocked, the best way to initiate it is after a Heaven Cannon, an uppercut slice that leaves your opponent unguarded in a juggle. Its speed is also perfect for after a blocked attack. If landed as a counter, Twisted Gold can stun your enemy long enough to get off Thunderbolt Blade as well, so keep it in your close range timing and arsenal.
Mercy! I have none!
Entering into a Soul Charge with Mitsurugi will allow you to have boosted close range abilities all centered on decimating an opponent's guard. You can use the Nirvana Cannon, an enhanced version of the Heaven Cannon uppercut move, or the Harvest Dance, another enhanced combo that breaks a middle guard before dealing 2 vertical strikes. Certain moves also get enhanced, such as Phoenix Tail and Obedience, which become break attacks that cannot be defended against or blocked with reversal edges. Soul Charge can be a great way to lay into an opponent that is timing their blocks particularly well. During Soulcalibur 6's new mechanic Reversal Edge, Mitsurugi's most devastating follow-up attack is 3 consecutive horizontal attacks that can send your opponent flying backward, which can be particularly handy when near the edge of a map for a ring out. Following up with the vertical attack will lead to a flurry of hits that you can chain into a critical edge if you have the full gauge to do so. Finally, responding with a kick will be most advantageous if you believe your opponent will come back at you with a guard. Mitsurugi contains both a middle and low kick attack to break either form of guard your opponent can throw at you. However, as with all reversal edges, it's important to keep in mind the nature of the rock, paper, scissors style of the mechanic and to read your opponent first and foremost. Keeping these strategies in mind will be your key to taking Mitsurugi's katana into battle and relentlessly carving up all in your path. Or maybe the close-up fighting style is not your passion and you'd rather deal in the long-range style of a fighter like Ivy. Let us know your attack strategies for your favorite fighters in the comments, and for everything else Soulcalibur, you're already in the right place, IGN.